what you're gonna do when the bloodline runs all over you. What up, everybody? This is the Quattro, Scootaloo. And I'm doing something a little different. Face it, I got a little bit lazy. But I'm gonna do Raw and NXT in one big wrap up. Um, Raw, I'm gonna keep it kind of short, sweet, because things happened, but it wasn't, enough to really talk about the whole 3 hours. I'm gonna start with kind of the smaller stuff, on to the bigger stuff, kind of like that. Um, we had, because they had a ladder match. Dexter Loomis, Miz, winner takes all. I can't remember how much money was supposed to be on the line, but uh, ladder match. Basically, the overall to the ladder match is Bronson Reed. Yes, that Bronson Reed, former NXT champion. Or if you paid attention to when he was on the Indies, Jonah, he is now back. And I don't know for sure if he has aligned himself with the Miz, but it probably could be for the time being, considering now it will be Miz and Bronson, Dexter and Johnny. So we'll see where that go. Bailey, Becky finally had their one-on-one confrontation. Pretty decent match. They should have saved it. Honesty, they should have just kept them kind of like fucking with each other. But they had the match. Bailey won by cheating right when uh they was kicking uh EO and Dakota out. She hit her in the back with a monitor. Rose Plant got the dub. Um, this will all kind of tie in together because it was just one big storyline. Paul Heyman and Roman were basically like, hey, KO belongs to Raw. He keeps showing up on SmackDown, causing havoc. So you know what? We got y'all. So throughout the whole night, the Usos, uh, Zayn, and Sokoa was just beating up everybody. They was just beating like they beat up Ziggles, they beat up Ali. I'm assuming that was Elias they hit in the back with the guitar. Uh Andre Chase was back there. He called a fade. The OC, who else? Just bodies everywhere. Just beating asses. And then ultimately it led to AJ fighting Zayn one on one. Zayn gets the dub. Then Rollins was out there having an interview. Theory came out because they're going to have the U.S. title match next week. They get into it, arguing wise. The Usos come out, and Rollins was like, "Hey, this is the time for us to band together. Let's do this." Theory was like, "Nah, I'm good." So KO runs out there, saves them. So main event, um, KO Rollins versus the Usos. Uh, they get the dub, KO and Rollins, but Theory blasted Rollins in the back with the belt, but still KO gets the dub, even breaking out the pop-up power bomb for the dub. Because now, he's been using it as a signature. But yeah, Zayn was lucky he was about to try to jump KO from the back, but they had a little stare down and call it a day. One thing I forgot, we should have went before the bloodline thing. Bliss and Bianca had a sit down, and Bliss was like, "Yeah, Bray Wyatt at one point he had his control over me, blah blah blah. But this ain't about him. This is about me, and the fact that you should be worrying about me, not him. I'm gonna take your title, blah blah blah." Bianca was like, "All right, cool, whatever." The symbol flashed on the TV, and Bliss blasted Bianca with a vase, and it was like, "Damn." But yeah, but mainly the biggest thing of the night, bloodline was running wild because when your bloodline for life. Um, let's roll into NXT when we get a little bit more deeper. Carmelo Hayes, Axiom starts it off. Because Carmelo got Trick Williams, aka we call him Trick around these parts. But Pretty good match, pretty solid match. I wonder where they're gonna go with Hayes, because Hayes is making it seem like, he wants that number one contendership for the belt, which now kind of making me wonder, did my prediction of the two winners of the Iron Survivors getting the belt? Because if Bronson keeps the belt, then at Valentine's Day, Vengeance Day, Carmelo, if he ends up being number one contender, could take it off of Bronson. Or could this be a means to an end? And maybe Carmelo maybe might make a appearance at the Royal Rumble, and that could be his coming out party. I don't know. All in all, Trick causes the distraction. Carmelo, when he shoots, he don't misses. He hit the nothing but net, his top rope leg drop. After the match, Axiom kind of attacks Trick Williams for his troubles. There you go. Waller, he's backstage talking about, well, Roxanne Perez got her title match. Why do I have to wait until New Year's Eve? I want my match tonight. And then Mackenzie was like, Braun's not here. Braun Breaker is doing press and this and the other, so he's not here. So why are you doing this? And he was like, well, look here, at the end of the night, I'm gonna call him out and make sure he blah 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 blah. Tony D and Stacks, they had a thing where Tony D is going to get his title shot against Wesley next week, and he was telling Stacks to go tell Dijak that wait till after my match, you can have your own justice with Wesley or whatever. Later on in the night, they showed Stacks preparing to tell Dijak the dialogue, and then he goes into Dijak's locker room. And if I remember correctly, I don't think we got a conclusion to that. Nikita Lyons, Zoe Stark, they finally had their grudge match. Pretty standard match. Stark ended up rolling up Nikita, but she was close to that corner. She grabbed the ropes. 1, 2, 3. Starks gets the W. Cora Jade, I forgot what she was talking about, but it ended up being her and Wendy Choo getting into a scuffle. Toxic Attraction versus Ivy Nile, Tatum Paxley versus Caden Carter and Katana Chance for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship. This actually wasn't a bad match. It didn't, once again, like I say on here, it didn't feel like a title change match, but it still wasn't a bad match. They went out there, had a good showing. I knew for a fact Toxic Attraction wasn't going to win, but there was at one point where it looked like Paxley and Nile could have got it. 1 second. Wouldn't be one of these videos without that patent and scoot yarn. But yeah, ultimately it led to Nile hitting her submission on Caden, that little submission where she has the person hooked. And she, it's kind of like they about to do the Scorpion Death Drop, but she hooks her hands behind her back to kind of choke out the opponent. Caden was able to prop her feet on the ropes, kind of like the way Brock Lesnar beat Bobby Lashley. That's basically what she did. The way Brock Lesnar beat Bobby Lashley at Crown Jewel, this would happen. And still, Caden and Katana. The Kiana James and her family bar saga still is a thing where she was talking about how they was at the bars falling on hard times, blah 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 blah. Kiana James come in and is like, well, hey, from the information I heard, and every time she was saying stuff, you see Brooks sitting up there like, he leaked the information to Kiana. So she basically said she paid the taxes or something, and now there's a lien on the bar. And if they don't come up with the money, whatever, then she can buy it outright, whatever. Then it led to Fallon saying, how about next week we basically battle for the bar? If I win, You continue, you pay whatever off, we keep the bar. But if you win, I'll tell my parents to sign it over to you for what you pay for. You get it pennies on the dollar. And once again, what the fuck does this have to do with wrestling? That's like literally saying, hey, Judgment Day is going to go against the OC. The loser buys pizza for everybody. Or hey, uh, Bailey versus Bianca, and if Bianca loses, she has to give up her grandma's secret recipe to her chocolate chip cookies. Like, what the fuck does this have to do with wrestling? Like, what does owning a bar and even Kiana James's character of her being this whatever she is, what does this have to do with the overall scope of wrestling? Where she's gonna buy she's gonna somehow get control of the damn performance center and it's gonna rock. I don't understand. But yeah, all of that got wrapped up. uh Oro Mensah has a promo. I'm assuming he's about to get ready to come back out as like a newer showing. Um Apollo Crews, sorry, Roxanne Perez had a sit down interview with Booker, going over the fact that her being young, her having this dream, she's, living out her dream. Sky's the limit even more for her. Apollo Crews comes out saying that, hey, I didn't win, but I'm still not in the back of the line type of thing. And, whoever wins out of Braun and Grayson, I'm looking towards Vengeance Day to, come see about it. And then that's when Carmelo comes out and was like, yo, say, fam, what makes you think you got number one contendership and this, that, and the third words? I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised they have a match, number one contender. We'll see. New Day had a promo with Pretty Deadly because in order for Pretty Deadly to get a title shot, they have to fulfill New Day's demands. And they had these wild demands, like they was doing the most wanted treasures thing. Like they was like, we wanted Stevie Ray's slapjack. We wanted I forgot everything they said, but basically it was all these different wrestling memorabilia things. And they was like, well, we didn't get everything. Well, it's like, well, you don't get a title shot. Well, how about we do the national anthem? Well, no, that was last week's demand. So I'm pretty, at some point, I wouldn't be surprised at Vengeance Day. No, maybe New Year's Evil. They might get a title shot again. I don't know. We shall see. Um, Alba Fire was getting ready for a match. Isla Dunn popped out of nowhere, blah, blew some red mist in her eyes. And they was like, oh, damn, shit, what? Later, they were showing Dunn getting it washed out. And she was like, and the trainer was like, yeah, you can have your match later. So, all right, cool, bet. Uh, Odyssey Jones, Idris Enofe, Malik Blade, they was leaving the arena and they ran into Ava Rain. And then it led into the rest of Schism coming out. Words were exchanged, 6-man tag next week. Indy Hartwell, Electra Lopez. Indy was trying to get her get back from all that bullshit that Electra been talking. They was having a match. She hit some brass knucks in a turnbuckle. Indy had picked her up. Get one good look. Get the 1, 2, 3. Lopez gets the dub. Sol Ruka versus Alba Fire. Isla Dunn pops out there, starts giving Alba that smoke, pun intended. And she did the thing where she stuffed her arm, mainly her hand, in between the space of the steel steps, took the bat, smacked the steps. Yeah, match never happened. Chase U segment where they was getting gifts to Mr. Chase. Segments. New Day versus Jensen and Briggs. Standard tag team match. Once again, No title change. Booker still on commentary, mad hating. Ultimately, New Day keeps the belt. They do the friendship, sportsmanship thing at the end. I'm kind of enjoying New Day being out there in NXT. You know, it seems like New Day is having fun again. Let's just say that. Um, Stacks, like I told you, he goes into Dijak's locker room. Don't know what happened to him. Diamond Mine was in the parking lot, and the reporter was like, Diamond Mine and Paxley, because she's not officially Diamond Mine. The reporter asks, "Hey, y'all lost the titles. Y'all lost the championship match. Are you and Paxley still a tag team?" And Tatum was like, "Fam, we just lost the match. Like, we're not gonna break up that easily. Like, teams go through things." And uh, right when the Creed brothers were about to talk, Enda Sheer shows up and they was like, "Hey, we heard the rumor that you clear." And Julius was like, "Yeah, I'm clear." And then I think it was either Veer or Sunga was like, "Well, yeah, y'all lied to us before this, that, and the third." And he was like, "Well, look, just Julius, I got a match against JD Madonna, the person who injured me, and I'll show you that we're ready for y'all." Yeah. Main event segment, because I thought the tag team match was the main event, but it was still time left. Waller comes out there being Waller, and then he was saying that, Braun ain't this, Braun ain't that, blah, 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 blah. Uh, Braun pulls up in his car, shows up. I saw this coming a mile away because Waller's jacket looked a little too puffy. And Braun comes in, he puts the belt down, immediately goes for the spear. Braun was knocked out. Waller puts and they was like, "Wait, what just happened?" He pulled the old Bret Hart Goldberg gimmick. He had this vest on that had a metal plate, kind of like when Bret Hart had the metal plate for Goldberg. And that's how it ended, with Waller basically saying at Vengeance, New Year's Evil, I'm running that belt off you, fam. That was NXT. And like I said, that was definitely a very quick rundown to Raw. Um, yeah, now everything is kind of leading, and NXT wise, everything is leading towards New Year's Evil and kind of Vengeance Day at the same time, because I want to say New Year's Evil is like January 14th, and I think Vengeance Day was like the first Saturday of February or something like that. So they're only going to be like 3 weeks apart. So whatever that doesn't happen, one was going to lead to the other. But yeah, you know, let us know below how you feel, how you think about everything. But I'm the Quattro, ScooterRay. Shout out to Dizzle, Jaeger, Juggs, and until next time, people, tag out. Peace.